this is ASMR Noir, and welcome to another movie review video. And since the theme of these movies are the jolly 60s and hippies and bikers, I thought it would be good to have an old jeans vest and some tingly things hanging around here, just to give you some tingles. No, just kidding. Or, no, not kidding, but that. Okay. I have two movies here. Two movies that I love with all my heart. And that I have seen at least 20 times each, perhaps more during the years. And we are going to start in the order they were released. One could almost say that they are related because they have the same cast, the same director, and it was made just 1 year apart, I think, something like that. Now, the first one is the movie that made me who I am today. Well, not, but it made me get my huge motorcycle hobby or interest, or what do you want to call it. And it was this movie, Richard Rush, Hells Angels on Wheels. It's from 1967, and it is, as you might have guessed, a movie about bikers. Now, this one is, as I said, from 67, so it's pretty old, but it still holds up. And let me tell you a little bit about the movie. It's about Hells Angels in San Francisco in the 60s, of course, and they run into town, and this guy, Jack Nicholson, he plays a guy called Poet. He works at a gas station when the Hells Angels rolls in. And the leader of the gang, Buddy, played by Adam Rourke, gets impressed by Poet when he talks back to the manager at the gas station. Later that day, Poet goes to an amusement park and gets beat up for being cocky. And he meets up with the Hells Angels once again, and they take revenge for him. And very soon after, he gets to be a trial member in the Hells Angels motorcycle club. Unfortunately, both Poet and the leader, you can see him here, he was played by Adam Rourke, an actor who was great but unfortunately passed away way before his time. They are in love with the same woman, Sabrina Scarf, I think her name is, played by or Sharf. I really can't pronounce it. So that leads to trouble, of course. Now, the movie is, despite being Hells Angels and it's violent, it's a lot of fights, it's done with a lot of charm. And if you like, Bud Spencer, Terence Hill kind of fighting movies, over the top, throw chairs at each other, some wonky 60s music, there's really not much to hate about this movie. In Sweden, when it had premiered, it was cut with 2.5 minutes. And I have not seen the cut version, I have only seen the uncut version. And I've always wondered, what were they cutting out? Well, I don't know. Anyway, it's directed by Richard Rush, and in the beginning, if you have a motorcycle interest, Sonny Barger, the legendary Hells Angels leader, is actually in the movie in a cameo in the beginning, and we can actually see him here. That's Sonny Barger, the American president of Hells Angels at the time. He's still alive, by the way. So, if you like motorcycles, and there's a lot of eye candy in this one. There are shoppers, trikes, original bikes, there are bikes everywhere. And there's a lot of set pieces that really make it stand out, like they have a wedding in a church. And you got to attend a hill climb competition, which I think was actually real. And hill climb, for those who doesn't know, is when you try to reach a steep hill on a motorcycle. I think they just, on their travel when they made the movie, I think they just happened to come across that competition that day. So this is the first movie that I really want to say that watch it if you like 60s, if you have a genuine motorcycle interest, or if you just want to kill off 1.5 hours with something ridiculously funny with a good heart. Hells Angels on Wheels. Now, this brings me to part 2, or no, not part 2, but one could easily think it is part 2. This one is called Psychout. In Sweden, I think they kind of wanted to ride on the success of this one, because in Sweden it's called the Hells Gang, or Helvetesgänget, and it stars Jack Nicholson again, it stars Adam Rourke again, and it also stars Dean Stockwell, Susan Strasberg, and Bruce Dern. And this movie, a really flashy disc. In this movie, Jack Nicholson and Adam Rourke plays 2 hippies in San Francisco. And this one is from '68, so it was recorded a year after Hells Angels on Wheels. Anyway, they play 2 hippies in San Francisco, '68, and they have this hippie collective where a lot of other people live, and they have a rock band, and they kind of like, just take the day for what it is, they smoke weed and get high and have fun, In comes this girl, played by Susan Strasberg. I cannot remember her name in the movie right now, but anyway, she's deaf. And she's on the run from kind of like youth care or something like that. And she was traumatized when she was a kid, hence she became deaf. And she's looking for her brother. A hippie calls himself the Seeker and is played by Bruce Dern. And to find him, she joins up with Nicholson, Rourke, and the other guys. And it's hard to describe this movie, because that's the story of it. She looks for her stoned out brother, and they just take drugs, listen to music, dance on fields. There's a lot of really long scenes with girls just, touching diamond curtains, and this Indian-inspired music, and kind of like this filter which make everything look dreamy, and it's a child of its time, let me say that. And it's also directed by Richard Rush, and it contains a very good soundtrack by the Seeds, Strawberry Alarm Clock, and a lot of more. And it has some kind of serious backdrop in the end, because, well, there's a lot of drama going on. But it's a fun movie to watch. It's a document of its time, a time that will never come back. It is also, as I said, made by the same director as Hells Angels, which is noticeable in many ways, because in one scene in Hells Angels, Buddy, the leader of the motorcycle club, and the poet Nicholson, ends up fighting a bunch of rednecks in an empty swimming pool outside a motel. Now, the fight starts with this redneck coming over to Buddy, touching his beard and, just mocking him before all hell breaks loose. Now, in this movie, Psychout, we have a similar scene in which Adam Rourke, again, who plays the hippie, stands outside on a junkyard, and the same guy who plays the same redneck shows up, start to touch his beard and shit, and then all hell breaks loose. There are other similarities between the movies. I think the guy who played the sheriff in Hells Angels on Wheels is the same guy who plays the sheriff in the Psychout movie. I can be wrong about that. But yeah, these movies really makes you happy. I don't know how easy they are available. I know the Hells Angels on Wheels movie should be pretty easy to get. Psychout, on the other hand, I think could be a little harder to find. I'm very protective of these ones. Alright, so that's a piece of American history on DVD, which I would recommend everyone to watch and enjoy. And yeah, so that was the movies I wanted to recommend today. Hells Angels on Wheels. And Psychout. I wish I could show you some footage from these movies, but since this is an ASMR video and they are pretty loud, well, I could have shown you the part where the girls are just decorating the hippie place with pearls and stuff, but I don't know how the copyrights are. I don't want to end up in trouble, so you just have to watch them and believe my good word when I say these movies are fantastic for their time. Is there anything else I would like to say? Well, you cannot go into these and expect billion-dollar value when it comes to sets. Well, sets are, of course, not the problem in these movies because they are filmed in real places. But no big special effects, stuff like that. They are low-budget movies, but they have a heart and a soul which many movies lacks nowadays. And as I said, Hells Angels on Wheels actually started my motorcycle interest. After that, I think I watched Easy Rider. There are a lot of biker movies out there. Not all of them are as good as Hells Angels on Wheels and Easy Rider. There are the Devil's Angels, there are Hells Angels 69, which has nothing to do with this one. We have, well, let me just tell you that if you start to dig and look for biker movies from the 60s, early 70s, you will get your hands full because there are plenty. And I don't actively collect biker movies. I think I have Hells Angels 69, Easy Rider, of course, and some others. I can't really remember at the time. I have so many movies. So, I hope you found this little review, rant, thingy nice to see and watch and relaxing. And I will see you in the next video. And remember, there can't be any light without darkness. And I will put my thumb there so it will be dark.